This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
All right, time right now is 4:27 here. It's finally Friday. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We have a warning for you, something you need to look out for as you are heading on the roads starting tonight, a major closure on I-70.
Yes, you may remember we had I-65 closed for a little over a week on the south side. Well, now it's changing. I-70 is going to be closed between the south split and I-465 on the west side. This closure is happening in both directions. So our Aaron Lish is going to be talking with INDOT about what they're going to be doing during this closure, and we're going to have those detour routes mapped out for you. But the big thing you need to remember, this closure goes into effect around 9 o'clock this evening, and it will last through August 5th. So you're going to have to take that detour for a little while now as they work on that project. So we're going to be breaking that down for you, but a big change coming here to the metro area.
Yeah, and a big change too. Students are starting to go back to school earlier this week. We were there when Perry Township School students went back to class. Well, on Saturday there is a great event taking place where you and your family can get some school supplies.
Yeah, it's the 19th annual Back to School Family Day, and there's going to be backpack giveaways full of school supplies, also some health screenings, and you can also get immunizations. So we're going to be breaking down everything that's going on because this is a great event if you're trying to get your kids ready to head back to the classroom. And speaking of heading back to school, it's time to start thinking of the bus stop forecast and what's going on in the weather and the weekend forecast. Alyssa Donovan's here with us.
Yes, so we are seeing those temperatures still in the mid-80s today. So we've had a really pleasant week of weather, and it's going to continue today. We actually have a little bit more cloud coverage moving through that high pressure that is over the area. What that's going to do is keep us just a little cooler today than we were originally saying, more like the mid-80s instead of the upper 80s as we head through the afternoon hours. Also going to see those light winds and a little bit more cloud coverage, so not quite as much sunshine as we head through your Friday, but it's still going to be a really pleasant day. The weekend warming up, and we're going to see that humidity back in the forecast as well, expecting to hit the upper 80s. Some areas could skate into the 90s this weekend, but the big change is going to be that humidity that's blowing up from the southwest. That's going to be what we notice because it's been really dry over the past couple days. I feel like it's been nice.
I know, it's been not very Indiana summer.
No,
reminds me of being in Minnesota this summer visiting my family, and very cool in the evenings. I like that.
Pleasant.
Yes. All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Well, we're talking about hiring Hoosiers, and we have a great story today about Pathway to Employment. So this is a city pilot program, and our Amanda Starantino is going to tell us how great it is going so far. It's about getting people jobs who are maybe ex-offenders or homeless, having trouble finding work, and so there's actually a wait list for this program right now. We're going to break down all the numbers for you, plus have your news, weather, and your traffic updates for your Friday coming up on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A major interstate through the Circle City will close tonight. Now on Good Morning Indiana, we are working for you with ways to get around that closure.
Plus, a man rushed to the hospital following a shooting on the city's west side, breaking overnight what police say led up to this gunfire.
And a cable contractor is accused of making thousands of dollars in purchases after stealing a grandma's credit card. We are working for you with how you can protect your hard-earned money. It's 4:30 on your Friday morning. Thanks for kicking off the day with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan here to break down our forecast. And it's been really the perfect week.
It really has. Not very summer-like, definitely below average, but I think we've all welcomed it after that heat we saw last week. So things have changed, and then we are warming up as we head towards the weekend. So don't get too used to it because there's some warmer temperatures on the way. Right now, a cool start for many of us. 56 in Crawfordsville, 59 in Greencastle, a little warmer in Indianapolis at 69 degrees. So if you're taking your kids to the bus stop, might want a light jacket, especially if you're in some of those cooler areas. Here in Indianapolis, not so much. Temperatures starting a little warmer today than we were yesterday and the day before. What's going on is we have high pressure over the area. This large swath is going to continue to keep us dry over the next several days. But as we head through today, we do have an upper level disturbance that's going to kick through. What that's going to do is just bring us a little bit more cloud coverage. So as we head into the afternoon, that will help keep us a little bit cooler for our daytime highs, really hitting the low to mid 80s once again. As we head into the weekend, we're going to see those southwest winds bring up a little bit more moisture, and it's going to be a little bit more humid on Saturday and Sunday. Today, however, starting in the 60s with sunshine, and then we'll see those clouds increase throughout the day with temperatures hitting the mid 80s.
Alyssa, thank you. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. Here's a live look in Fishers, I-69 at 96th Street. Traffic in this area is moving smoothly. You can see the orange barrels on the sides of the roads, not blocking the travel lanes in this spot, so that is great news. We'll continue to keep a close eye on things and keep you updated. But something you need to know about, a busy section of a major highway right here in the Circle City is going to close tonight. I-70 is scheduled to shut down at 9 o'clock tonight in both directions from I-465 on the west side all the way to the south split. This is a live look at one of the areas that's going to be impacted by the closure. The closure is scheduled to last for 9 days. All lanes are set to reopen on Monday, August 5th. Now, during the I-70 closure, NDOT says you should take I-465 eastbound to I-65 northbound if you're trying to get to the downtown area from the west or southwest side. Now, if you're trying to get out of downtown, you need to take I-65 southbound from the south split to westbound I-465, and be sure to leave plenty of extra time for your commute during this lengthy detour.
Breaking overnight, a man is in critical condition following a shooting on the city's west side. IMPD says 2 men were walking near West 10th Street and Girls School Road around 1 this morning when they were approached by 4 to 6 other men. One of the men in the larger group had a gun and attempted to rob the pair when the shooting happened. Police are still looking for the suspects this morning. If you have any information on who those people might be, please call Crime Stoppers. A cable worker accused of using his job as an excuse to get inside an 86-year-old woman's house and steal from her is due in court next week. Well, prosecutors say Quentin Wilson drove a Comcast vehicle to the woman's home in Carmel 4 times, each time telling her he needed to do work on something involving an installation. Carmel police say while Wilson was inside the home, he stole $1,000 in cash from her dresser and used her credit card to make more than $5,000 in purchases. The victim's attorney tells RTV6 the woman lost much more than money.
He's really taken away her peace. She's fighting to live independent. It's very important to her, and she's done a great job of it, but now she's suffering. She's exhibiting some behaviors that would show some severe anxiety, and it's disturbing.
We reached out to Wilson on the phone, and he says the allegations are false. He is a Comcast contract worker. The attorney says the company should be held responsible for its workers, even those with contracted companies. Call 6 Investigates found Wilson was convicted in 2014 for stealing from a Walmart. Comcast told us, quote, "We are aware of the allegations against this contract employee, and both Comcast and his employer are cooperating fully as police continue their investigation." In the meantime, he is no longer performing any Comcast-related duties.
At 4:34 new this morning, Putnam County officials say that a man wanted for a homicide in New York City is now behind bars. Deputies stopped Sheng Chen Mao for driving in the left lane 10 miles per hour under the speed limit on I-70. During the traffic stop, authorities learned that Mao was wanted for a homicide in New York. Mao is currently in the Putnam County Jail waiting to be taken back to New York City.
The Department of Justice says it will carry out the executions of federal death row inmates for the first time since 2003. The Department of Justice says 5 inmates will be executed in Terre Haute starting in December. In 2014, President Obama told the department to conduct a review of capital punishment and issues surrounding lethal injection drugs. That review effectively put a freeze on executions. The department says the Bureau of Prisons has finished the review and said the executions can continue. And you can see a list of those scheduled to be executed on your screen. All 5 are serving time for brutal murders involving children. Their executions will be held between December 9th of this year and January 15th of 2020.
IPL is asking state regulators to approve a 7-year plan to modernize its electric grid to better serve you, and it would come with a potential slight rate increase for its customers. If the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission approves the $1.2 billion plan, then next year IPL will present its initial request to recover those costs. IPL leaders say the move is expected to cost the average customer an additional $1.50 per year for 7 years. Company officials say grid modernization is expected to improve reliability and lead lead to shorter and fewer outages.
Companies will soon have to provide better paying jobs for tax breaks. New rules in Marion County will require companies to offer jobs that pay at least $18 an hour if they want tax incentives. Some of the tax money must be spent on training, transit, and childcare for employees. And the businesses must also provide health care benefits and have made a positive impact on the surrounding community.
We believe that there is a way that we can implement this policy and make it work for business and support business growth, and also get the business to participate in a more meaningful way with all of us to help close these gaps within our community.
Jobs that pay less than $18 will not be considered in the evaluation for incentives. The new rules take effect January 1st of next year.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's way of answering the call to fill the over 1 million jobs that are opening up in Indiana over the next decade. Part of that mission is preparing young minds of the workers of tomorrow. And that's what Purdue Polytechnic High School's new location in Broad Ripple aims to do for students this fall. It's opening August 5th in a converted office building just down the street from the old high school on Broad Ripple Avenue. It's tuition free. It's a public charter school high school that partners with Purdue with the goal of increasing the pipeline of students from Indiana into STEM careers, especially the underrepresented minorities and women.
We're setting our students up for the future of work because we know that's constantly changing. The jobs that our students will have probably don't even exist at this point.
Well, the school is starting off with 70 freshmen and sophomores for the semester, with more classes expected to be added in 2020 and 2021. This will be the second campus for the school after it first laid down its roots in the Circle Center Mall back in 2017. Broad Ripple High School location is temporary, and the search for a permanent site in the area is underway.
The Senate Intelligence Committee releasing its long-awaited report on election security and Russian meddling in the 2016 election. After the break, how long the report says the election interference may have been happening.
Plus, a social media network is proving that it's for more than recipes and wedding planning. Just straight ahead here on Good Morning Indiana, how Pinterest is hoping to help you with your mental health. Alyssa.
And it's another mild day across central Indiana. Low humidity, but that humidity builds back in as we head into the weekend. So does the warmth. Also some chances of showers and storms in the 7-day. All of the details coming up.
Like these. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time right now is 4:41 on your Friday, and here's a live look at the interstate to our northwest, I-65 from the pedestrian overpass. This is just a little north of 30th Street. You can see traffic here is moving smoothly at this early hour. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on the spot and keep you updated on any issues.
The House is expected to leave town for a 5-week August recess today. Before they break, members of the House Oversight Committee will hold a hearing on drug prices, with patients testifying about the effects high prices have on their families. The Senate will be in session next week. Special counsel Robert Mueller issuing a stark warning about Russian interference during his testimony on Wednesday.
As ABC's Trevor Alt reports, now Democrats are calling for aggressive legislation protecting American elections.
Today, Senate Democrats say there needs to be swift action for Congress to protect the security of America's elections.
Mueller's testimony should be a wake-up call to every American that the integrity of our elections is at stake.
Those comments coming a day after Special Counsel Mueller's testimony, where he confirmed his investigation found Russia interfered in the 2016 election in a sweeping and systemic fashion.
It wasn't a single attempt. They're doing it as we sit here. And they expect to do it during the next campaign.
Following Mueller's testimony, a bipartisan Senate report detailed the extent of the interference, saying Russia gained unauthorized access to the personal data of hundreds of thousands of voters, and that officials in 21 states noted suspicious incidents or the scanning of their systems. Democratic senators responding, seeking passage of multiple bills bolstering election security, only to be stopped by Republican leader Mitch McConnell.
It's just a highly partisan bill from the same folks who spent 2 years hyping up a conspiracy theory about President Trump and Russia.
Senator McConnell has blocked nearly every effort to bring election security to the Senate floor, many of them bipartisan efforts, including some co-authored by fellow Republican and President Trump ally Lindsey Graham. With Congress locked in yet another stalemate, President Trump is focused on the Mueller investigation, telling Fox News it was an attack on his presidency.
This was treason. This was high crimes.
In terms of election security, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley said there were similar efforts to interfere in the 2018 election that the U.S. was aware of. And while he couldn't give the details of what he learned in a security briefing, he said there was success in blocking those efforts. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Washington.
This morning, 16 Marines are being accused of being involved in drug-related offenses and human smuggling, among other crimes. The Marines were arrested at Camp Pendleton, California, early yesterday morning during a battalion formation. The Marine Corps said 8 other Marines were also questioned in an unrelated drug investigation. Following the arrest, General Richard Clark, the commander of U.S. Special Operations Command, says all troops will be held to ethical, moral, and disciplinary standards. The death of a North Carolina man is being blamed on an amoeba that went up his nose, causing a deadly brain infection. Eddie Gray became sick after swimming at a lakeside water park on Monday. Scientists say the amoeba destroys brain tissue and causes brain swelling. Health officials say it is naturally present in warm water and does not pose a risk if swallowed, but that there are some things you can do to protect yourself.
To use nose clips or nose plugs if you are going to be plunging, if you will, into water. Pinch your nose if you go under. Those are the types of precautions that one can implement.
Health officials also say to avoid digging in or stirring up the sediment while taking part in water-related activities in shallow, warm freshwater areas. It is 4:45, and today will be another great day to get out on the water, Alyssa.
That's right. Temperatures today back in the mid-80s. We are going to see a little bit more cloud coverage, but plenty of sunshine peeking through. Another mild day. Now, as we head into the weekend, that humidity is building back into the forecast. Storms kick in on Monday and Tuesday, so we are going to see that wet weather return next week. Right now, starting with clear skies this morning, some chilly spots. Bloomington, 59 degrees, 60 in Kokomo. We're at 69 here in Indianapolis. So some of those areas in the 50s this morning, you might want to grab a light jacket as you're heading out the door. Temperatures today will climb into the mid-80s. Some spots will be a little bit warmer than that, but what's going on is we have a quiet radar right now, and that's due to that ridge of high pressure that's in place. That's going to continue amplifying over the next couple days here, but as we head through the day today, we have an upper level disturbance that's going to push through. That's going to bring us just a little bit more cloud coverage this afternoon. So starting cool this morning and clear with those skies, and then we'll start to see a little bit more cloud coverage right around the noon hour. That's when we'll hit the upper 70s for some of those northern counties, and right around 80 degrees here in Indianapolis at noon, and then that clouds will increase as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours. What that's going to do is keep us from getting too warm today, so most of us are going to be into the mid-80s. Looking ahead to the weekend, temperatures climbing into the upper 80s. We have those winds coming out of the southwest. That's going to help usher in a little bit more humidity and some breezy conditions as well on Saturday, 88 degrees, 89 on Sunday. That humidity is really building back in. We could see a spot storm as we head into the late evening hours on Sunday, but for the most part, more likely we're going to see that as we head through the day on Monday. And that's just because we have a low pressure system that's going to start tracking in as we head through the day Monday and into Tuesday. That's going to bring us the potential for some showers and thunderstorms to start our work week. It's also going to keep our temperatures in the mid-80s to start out. Then we'll be climbing a little bit as we head through next week. Today, starting in the 60s at many locations, so a cooler start today with clear and sunny skies, and then we'll see those clouds increase as we head through the day, right around 85 degrees for your Friday high. So still a very pleasant day. That humidity is low, and then we'll see that build back in as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s in many locations. Some spots could reach the 90s this weekend, and then we have those chances of some spot storms moving in on Monday and Tuesday, with those temperatures staying in the mid-80s throughout the week.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning, and we have a long-term construction project here along I-69. This is near the Pendleton area, State Road 9. You can see that traffic is moving slowly because of all the orange barrels shifting traffic around both northbound and southbound. You can see the flashing lights, so crews are out there busy working this morning. Slow down, give them plenty of space, and use caution. Let's take a look, though, at our map. We are monitoring just a few issues due to some long-term construction. Westbound I-465, a little bit slow here on the north side. The slowest area is between between Keystone Avenue and Ditch Road, so just use caution traveling through that spot at this hour. If you're driving here in the Fishers area, Hamilton County, we do have an exit closed for construction northbound I-69 at 116th Street. That's exit 205. You'll need to avoid that spot this morning, and that is the slowdown you just saw northbound and southbound here in the Pendleton area along I-69. So let's take a turn now, head down to the south side, get a live look at I-65 and stop 11 Road here on Indy's south side. You can see traffic is moving smoothly at this early hour, both northbound and southbound. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye out for any crashes or delays, and we'll keep you updated.
Pinterest isn't just for arts and crafts and recipe ideas. Now it's trying to help people with mental health. When you search for certain phrases like stress or anxiety, you'll see mental health exercises. They'll include things like breathing and self-compassion activities. An Ohio State psychologist says they're a great way to start monitoring your mental health, but it's important to know it's not meant to replace professional help.
You know, I think that point is really when people start to experience significant distress in a way that is impacting their ability to go to school, work, get along with other people, take care of themselves, especially if people that are close to them in their lives perhaps start noticing that they're behaving a little differently or withdrawing.
The new feature is slowly rolling out, so not everyone will see it yet. Dr. Lazarus says mindfulness exercises help if you're feeling down. It can help you even become more aware of your emotions.
A New York waitress receives a tip of a lifetime. Just after the break, her message for that generous customer.
Plus, we're learning more about a financial burden faced by millions of Americans. Medical debt. Ahead at 5 o'clock, hear from a Kokomo woman who has had thousands of dollars of medical debt wiped away and how she's using it to teach lessons to her kids. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Today on Court TV could be the biggest day yet in our coverage of Florida versus Grant Amato. Grant Amato charged in the deaths of his mother, father, and his brother, facing the death penalty. Today in court, we expect Grant Amato's oldest brother, the only other surviving member of that family, to walk into the courtroom and take the witness stand for the prosecution. We are live in Sanford, Florida for another day of the death penalty trial of Grant Amato.
And don't forget, you can watch Court TV live right on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Financing for 60 months on some 2019 Atlas models.
A North Carolina man had a prime idea for his wife's birthday. Waylon McGuire decided to surprise his Amazon-loving wife with one of her favorite things. No, this is not an Amazon Prime package, but it sure looks like one. That's because it is a cake decorated to look like a delivery box. Well, his wife Emily said it made her laugh so hard. They posted the pictures on Facebook where it has racked up shares and likes. Amazing what they can do with cakes these days, I tell you. Well, a New York server made $1,000 in just minutes.
That's after she stopped to talk with one of her customers. Nicole Tremblay was waitressing at Doc Brown's Lakeside Tavern in Saratoga Springs, New York on Monday. Around 1 o'clock, she served a man lunch, and the gratuity he left was generous, to say the least. He left $1,000 on the tip line. Nicole says she'll start a savings account for her unborn daughter with that money. She didn't get to tell the customer thank you, but has this message for him.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I wish there was words that I could put together to show how genuinely appreciative I am of this, but there's literally nothing that I can say.
The customer did leave a note that said best wishes with the baby.
Oh, I always love when people do stuff like that. Very cool.
I don't understand how people do something like that. Oh, I'm just going to leave you $1,000. I don't even know you.
I know.
It's really nice.
It must be nice to just have. Yeah.
All right.
Lots of money.
Well, we do have a gift for everyone today from Melissa.
Yes, some more nice weather. How about that? That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Temperatures today back in the mid-80s. We're going to see a little bit more cloud coverage as we head through the day, but still mild, still low humidity. And then Saturday and Sunday, those temperatures are going to climb a little bit. We'll be in the upper 80s throughout the weekend with that humidity building back in and some breezy conditions out of the southwest. As we head through the day Monday and Tuesday, we have some chances of spot storms back in the forecast. Temperatures staying in the mid-80s for much of next work week.